Today on Catching Up, we are here at the Rossville Public Library with our man Victor Hayes. Now, a lot of you know Victor, a lot of you know his car. Tell them a little bit about your car, Victor.
I got a 1991 Mazda Miata. It's in the factory red color. Doesn't have that much done to it other than an ECU and some wheels. That's pretty much it.
Very nice. Now, we hear that you have a deep and meaningful relationship with the Miata. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. It kind of all derived from whenever I was 14, I believe. My dad, he bought me one as my first car, and as soon as I got it, I just fell in love with it and immediately wanted to start working on them and making that be my hobby.
Well, that's good, man. That is good. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is you have several cars, and you've had several cars. Tell me about them.
So I started off whenever I got my license. I had a 1996 BMW Z3 in a custom Destroyer gray, Nardo gray color. Car was a lot of fun. Had a factory limited slip. A lot of fun to throw around corners.
That's good.
And then it started having overheating problems. Blew the head gasket, and then after that, I got in my other Miata and drove it around for a bit till I got in a wreck with it, and then I picked up driving my 1988 Porsche 944.
Okay, so quite the collection there. Now there's a little bit of a story behind the 944, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever I was in middle school, my dad, he had a Jeep Wrangler, and he went through with the trade and got a 1986 944. And that's kind of what got me into the whole car thing, in the first place, just enjoying riding in cars and whatnot. And so whenever I had the opportunity to buy one for dirt cheap, I jumped on it,
Well, that's good. That's good. I like his 944. That's one of, if you know me well, I'm kind of an American car man. I kind of biased to that. Victor works on me all the time. He's like, Doug, you need to get an import. I'm like, well, not really, but the 944 is tempting. Don't get me wrong.
Those boxy fenders doing something.
I know. The classic 80s look. Now, Victor, I'm just going to give you a heads up. Most of our Snapchat questions are related to the Miata.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so before we dive into that, let's get some other things. They need to know more about Victor. What is there to know about Victor?
Really not that much, other than just pretty much work on cars, do that type of stuff. I'm a senior, I guess. Yeah. That's pretty much it, man.
Well, I mean, you're mechanically inclined, That's,
somewhat.
I mean, I see on your story all the time, you're in there, you're making stuff happen. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty, and I have a lot of respect for that. I wish I was more like that. I'd have a little less in my car, for sure. But, I have a lot of respect for Victor, and, I'm a car guy. Maybe I don't necessarily love his car. It's not my identity, but I can see that he really values it, and that's really neat. And I have a lot of respect for that. Someone that's just proud of something, wants to work on it and make it good, make it right. And Victor's really good at that. Victor's someone who's charismatic. He has a little too much fun sometimes, aggravates some teachers.
Oh
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah, from
Just
time
sometimes.
to time. Yeah, he's known to aggravate a few teachers and get under some people's skin, ruffle some feathers. Tell us about your friend group. Who you hang out with on the regulars?
Hang out with Connor Stevens, Eli Delaney, and Skylar Agee. Those are my mains.
If you're ever at Walmart at 10 o'clock on a weekday, there's a strong chance you're going to see those four guys just there.
Yeah, doing pretty much anything. Just trying to kill time, have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, you roam through Walmart, there's a whole crew, and it's quite the experience. Quite the experience. So, anyway, if you're looking for a good time on a weekday, look for Victor at the Walmart.
Bound to be there.
Bound to be there. He, they're likely to make him an employee, just an honorary position. He's just there. But no, in all seriousness, Victor's a really good guy. I consider him to be a close friend. We talk way too much about cars, and speaking of car talk, let's dive into some Snapchat questions.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to hear these.
There was some rough ones, okay?
All right,
people
that's fine,
throwing up shade at the Miata, all right? But here's a pretty good one to start off with. How fast can the Miata go at full speed? That was asked by Jacob H.
The fastest I've had the Miata was on the interstate heading towards Nashville, and I hit 117, I believe.
Oh my word.
And it had more, but at that point the car is just extremely unstable, and it's not meant for that fast.
Victor. All right. Let's see. Now Noah asked a pretty condescending question. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Why do you love that garbage can?
Because it's my garbage can, and I got to do what I wanted to with it.
Absolutely. Take that, Noah.
Take that, Noah.
Nick G asked, why do you take your hood off?
That's actually because I'm constantly under the hood trying to figure something out, trying to fix, it misfiring, trying to fix an oil leak, and it gets really tedious lifting the hood, finding the prop, because the prop's not in the car for some reason. So I just take the hood off. It's 4 bolts, super easy to put back on whenever I feel like it. And also for a while, there's a hood dump and a turbo in it.
Very nice. Nick G, my response to that is, why don't you take your hood off?
I agree.
I think there ought to be a car in every person's life that you drive around with the hood off. Just saying. I've rode in many a Fox bodies with the hood off.
And those things are fast, aren't they?
It's part of it. Yeah, the fastest ones don't have a hood. I promise you.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. So, all right. Connor asked. He wanted to hear a little more about the wreck and what happened to the old Miata. And I know this is a sensitive subject, Victor.
Nah, man, it's all good. I don't mind talking about it. So what happened was I was out on a date with this girl that I met at the mall, and we were up on the mountain just hanging out, having a good time. And on the way back down the mountain, there's a Jetta in front of me, and he pulled off into a slow traffic pull-off, then immediately shot back out and got behind me. Still no idea why he did that. Then I get down to, I want to say it's Lee Highway, like if you were going to Tiftonia from like St. Elmo area, know, like where you can shoot up to go to Rock City?
Yes.
Or Ruby Falls, that's what it is.
That's right.
And I was coming down that, and so I was looking back, trying to like match traffic or whatever so I could get out. And I scooted forward so I could get a little bit more visibility, and then he just smacked me.
Ooh.
And then as I was looking back, I hit my face on my roll bar. So I got a pretty nasty concussion from that.
Yikes.
And the whereabouts of the car now, it's sitting in my driveway. It's been the donor car pretty much for my current Miata. Just all the aftermarket parts that were on it. And hopefully it'll be sold soon for a little bit of extra pocket change.
Well, that'll be good. Now, you did the transmission swap, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, again, back to Victor being, one of the last backyard mechanics or shade tree mechanics. Tell us about the transmission swap. I hear it was a pain.
It was terrible. The worst, but I will say the worst part about it was getting the automatic out.
Yeah.
So after the automatic came out, I had to swap out the power plant frame, which just ties the rear differential and the transmission together, and there are different links for the automatic and the manual. A drive shaft, a transmission, clutch pedal, the clutch pedal assembly, a brake pedal, and then obviously flywheel, clutch, and pressure plate. That's pretty much it.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't really that bad whenever you look at it and kind of, break down what all you had to do. But some parts of the labor, with it being tight areas and all that, and super top bolts haven't been touched since factory. It was a little bit bad in that sense.
Mecca asked, how much do you spend a month on car stuff?
It depends on how much I have that month. I pretty much spend all my money on car stuff, whether it be gas or aftermarket parts. But probably the most in 1 month was, I'm trying to think, maybe $800. It's not that much, not including gas though. Just for a couple parts.
Was that ECU month?
Yes, which also half of it was paid for my dad, so it wouldn't be $800.
Right.
It'd be about $400.
Tell me about the ECU. Are you liking that thing?
Yeah, man, it's a blast. You can just plug up my computer to it, do whatever I need to, have control over every single thing in that car, and I can set up aftermarket stuff. It's even got built-in overboost protection. So if I end up turboing the car and going all the way with it, actually running the boost popping, it uses the engine map pressure, and whenever it gets over a set limit, it'll put the car in limp mode, shut it off so you don't blow it up.
Okay, hey, that's really good. So you running a Mega Squirt system?
Yeah, Mega Squirt plug and play too, and I tune through Tuner Studios. And something else you can do that I think is pretty cool is you can set up launch control,
Uh-huh.
and you can also set up flat foot shifting. So you never have to let off the gas. It's got a limiter whenever you put your foot on the clutch, so you can just bang gears.
There you go, Victor. That sounds very much like you.
Yes, sir.
So Camden B asks, are you ready for Riverside?
Yes.
Tell
Camden.
people about Riverside that don't know.
Riverside is a massive car meet in Chattanooga, Tennessee, beside the Finley Stadium in the First Horizon Pavilion. There is a bunch of vendors and there's a bunch of very cool cars, and it's a pretty good community to be around. I recommend going if you like cars.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so your last question, and I forgot who this came from, I'll put it in the graphic, is what is your favorite car besides the Miata?
I have a couple, but probably my first go-to, if I'm talking about something that's semi-obtainable in my life, is a Dodge Viper.
Very
A
nice.
5th gen Viper, one of my favorite cars ever. Sound great. They have potential to make a lot of power.
Okay. So, Victor in a Viper. Comment below if you would like to see Victor driving around in a Viper, how long it would take for him to get arrested, and, what that
Not that
results would
long.
be.
Not that long.
I'd say I'd give it a good 24 hours, maybe.
24 minutes maybe.
Maybe.
Well, it depends on location. If we're talking
Yeah.
like Flintstone, Chickamauga, I might have a little bit more time, but
Oh my word.
I'll probably shoot straight for the city and try to show everybody I'm in a Viper.
Oh my word.
So, yeah.
Victor, don't be that guy, buddy. Don't be that guy.
I'm just saying.
You gotta live to be an old age, be a granddad. All right, so.
Allegedly.
All right. Anyway, it's been good catching up with Victor. The last question I try to ask everybody is, where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Well, 10 years from now, I hope to be out of college. I'm planning on going to Georgia Northwestern for, I can't remember the exact title, but it's engine building nonetheless, like learning how to build engines. And I'm not sure if that's really what I want to do for my career, but it's definitely something that I need to know for my hobbies and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm just going to start everything off with that. I already got accepted for it, might as well. And then if I can't, enjoy what I'm doing with that, I'll figure something else out for the time being. But eventually I would like to be an entrepreneur and find something that I really click with, so that I don't really work, I just have a good time all the time.
Well, that's awesome, Victor. I'm proud for you, proud of you. You're a very good person. I'm blessed to have friends like Victor, and I'm blessed to be able to do these videos.
Yes, sir.
It's good catching up with you, Victor.
Good catching up with you too.
All right.